Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going deep. We're doing a deep dive, into a fascinating period, actually, right here in India.
Okay.
Imagine a time when massive volcanoes were erupting
Oh, wow.
across the Deccan Plateau millions of years ago.
Yeah.
We're talking
Millions of
the
years.
Deccan Traps.
Yeah.
And for all of you UPSC aspirants out there,
Yes.
this is a story that ties into geology,
Mm.
ecology, and even a bit of economics. So listen closely.
It's a pretty incredible story.
Yeah.
You know, these eruptions, while definitely destructive,
Great.
actually played a significant role in shaping the biodiversity of India as we know it today.
Mm-hmm.
And this is straight from a recent PIB release, by the way.
Okay, so paint a picture for us.
Sure.
We've got these huge volcanic eruptions happening.
Right.
What was the immediate impact on the environment and the life that existed at that time?
So imagine massive lava flows,
Oh, wow.
ash clouds covering the sky.
Yeah.
It was a dramatic reshaping of the landscape.
Yeah.
The PIB report highlights the extinction of many species,
Right.
particularly dinosaurs,
Mm.
and certain types of plants called gymnosperms,
Okay.
think pine trees and their relatives,
Yeah.
with seeds that are exposed, not enclosed in a fruit.
So kind of a mass extinction event?
Yeah.
But you mentioned this also led to the rise of new life forms.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Deccan Traps eruptions were a double-edged sword.
Hmm.
While they caused extinctions, they also created opportunities.
Okay.
The volcanic ash over time broke down and enriched the soil.
Uh-huh.
Plus, the eruptions led to a warmer, more humid climate,
Okay.
which, as the PIB report explains, created the perfect conditions for another group of plants to flourish, the angiosperms.
Interesting.
These are flowering plants,
Yeah.
the ones that produce seeds enclosed within a fruit.
So it's almost like the volcanoes cleared the way for a whole new type of plant life to take over.
Yeah, you could say that.
And these flowering plants, they're pretty important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They form the basis of so many ecosystems,
Right.
provide food and resources,
Yeah.
and contribute to the rich biodiversity we see in India today.
Okay.
And for you UPSC folks,
Yeah.
this shift from gymnosperms to angiosperms
Right.
is a classic example of how a major geological event
Uh-huh.
can trigger an evolutionary shift.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I remember learning about plate tectonics in school,
Yeah.
and I'm guessing the Indian plate had something to do with all this volcanic activity.
You're right on the mark.
Yeah.
The PIB report dives into this too.
Okay.
The Indian plate was on a slow journey northward.
Mm-hmm.
And as it passed over a particularly hot zone in the Earth's mantle called the Reunion Hotspot,
Mm-hmm.
massive amounts of magma rose to the surface,
Oh, wow.
triggering these eruptions.
Okay.
Think of it like a blowtorch underneath the Earth's crust.
So the Indian plates movement was like the catalyst for these massive eruptions.
Yeah.
Which in turn led to this whole chain reaction of extinctions, new plant life taking over.
Right.
And ultimately shaping the biodiversity of India.
Uh-huh.
It's amazing how interconnected everything is.
Precisely. And this is a key takeaway for our UPSC aspirants.
Yeah.
Understanding how seemingly separate events like continental drift,
Right.
volcanic activity, and plant evolution are all linked is crucial
Oh.
for grasping the bigger picture,
Yeah.
which is often what those exam questions are getting at.
It's like a giant puzzle.
It is.
And each piece is a fascinating story in itself.
Absolutely. And, the Indian plate's journey,
Oh, yeah.
it didn't stop there.
Right.
It kept moving northward,
I know.
eventually colliding with the Eurasian plate.
Oh, wow.
This collision, which is still ongoing today,
Really?
is what gave rise to the Himalayas,
Wow.
the highest mountain range in the world.
Wait, so the same forces that caused these massive volcanic eruptions also played a role in forming the Himalayas.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It makes you realize how powerful these geological processes are and how they shape the world around us on such a grand scale.
Exactly. And this brings us to another crucial point for our UPSC listeners.
Okay.
The Deccan Traps aren't just a geological marvel.
Uh-huh.
They also have significant economic implications,
Oh, right.
both historically and in the present day.
Oh, that's right. We talked about the fertile soil created by the volcanic ash.
Yeah,
That's got to be a major factor for agriculture, right?
absolutely. The Deccan Traps region is known for its rich black soil,
Okay.
which is ideal for growing crops like cotton and tobacco.
Interesting.
But it goes beyond that.
Okay.
The Deccan Traps are also rich in mineral resources.
Right.
Basalt, which is used in construction, is plentiful.
Yeah.
And the region also has deposits of iron ore and bauxite, both crucial for industrial development.
So these ancient volcanic eruptions have a direct link to India's economic landscape today.
Yeah.
It's amazing how events from millions of years ago continue to shape our world in so many ways.
Precisely. And for our UPSC aspirants, this is a great example of how to think holistically.
Right.
You can connect geological events to ecological changes and then link those to economic and even social developments.
It's all about seeing the bigger picture, which is something the UPSC exams really emphasize, right?
Absolutely. And speaking of the bigger picture,
Yeah.
let's go back to those angiosperms for a moment.
Okay.
They really did take advantage of the changes brought about by the Deccan Traps eruptions, didn't they?
Yeah, it's almost like they were perfectly poised to capitalize on the new environment.
Right.
What was it about the angiosperms that made them so successful?
Well, remember how gymnosperms have exposed seeds?
Yeah.
Angiosperms, on the other hand, enclose their seeds within a fruit.
Okay.
This may seem like a small difference,
Yeah.
but it had huge implications. The PIB report points out that the warm, humid conditions following the eruptions were ideal for angiosperms.
Okay.
Their enclosed seeds were better protected, and they could also use fruits to spread their seeds more effectively.
So it's like they had a built-in advantage
Right.
in this new environment, and the result,
Exactly.
an explosion of diversity in the plant world.
Exactly. And that diversity is what makes India's flora so unique and fascinating. It's a living testament to the power of adaptation and evolution.
It's incredible to think that these volcanic eruptions, which must have seemed so catastrophic at the time, actually paved the way for the rich plant life we see in India today.
Right.
It's a powerful reminder that change, even when it seems destructive, can lead to new beginnings.
And that's a message that resonates far beyond just the Deccan Traps.
Right.
It's about understanding the cycles of destruction and renewal that shape our planet and the life that inhabits it.
It's a pretty inspiring thought, actually.
It is.
But before we get too philosophical, let's bring things back to the present day.
Okay.
What can we learn from the Deccan Traps that's relevant to us today?
Especially in the context of climate change and environmental challenges. Yeah, that's a great question. It's easy to see the Deccan Traps as this ancient event.
Right.
But it holds some valuable lessons for us today, especially as we grapple with the impacts of climate change.
Absolutely. The Deccan Traps are a stark reminder of how dramatically Earth systems can change. And while the scale of those eruptions was immense, the underlying principle is the same.
Okay.
Rapid environmental changes can have cascading effects on ecosystems and entire planets.
So it's like a cautionary tale, but also a source of hope, right?
Yeah.
I mean, life did bounce back after the Deccan Traps eruptions, even thrived in new ways.
Exactly. Life is remarkably resilient.
Yeah.
And understanding how species adapted and evolved in response to the Deccan Traps can give us insights into how life might adapt to the changes we're seeing today.
That's a really interesting point. It's like studying the past can give us clues about how to navigate the future, especially for UPSC aspirants. This kind of thinking, connecting historical events to current challenges, can be really helpful for crafting well-rounded answers.
Absolutely. The UPSC exams aren't just about memorizing facts.
Right.
They're about demonstrating critical thinking and the ability to connect different ideas. And the Deccan Trap story is a perfect example of that.
It's like a case study in Earth's history.
It is.
With lessons that are still relevant today.
Yeah, for sure.
So as we wrap up our deep dive,
what
are some key takeaways our listeners should remember, especially those prepping for the UPSC?
Well, first and foremost, the Deccan Traps are a testament to the power of geological processes.
Right.
We've seen how volcanic activity coupled with plate tectonics can reshape landscapes, trigger extinctions, and create opportunities for new life to emerge.
It's amazing.
All of this is crucial for understanding the dynamic nature of our planet.
Right. It's not just about rocks and volcanoes.
Right.
It's about how those things influence everything else. Yeah.
From the evolution of plants to the very air we breathe.
Exactly. And secondly, the Deccan Traps highlight the interconnectedness of Earth's systems. From the movement of continents to volcanic eruptions to the evolution of life, it's all connected.
Yeah.
This kind of holistic thinking is crucial for understanding complex challenges like climate change.
It's like a reminder that we can't just focus on one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
We have to see the whole picture.
Precisely. And finally, the Deccan Traps offer a message of hope. Even in the face of seemingly catastrophic events,
Yeah.
life finds a way to adapt and evolve.
It's inspiring.
This is a powerful reminder of the resilience of nature.
Right.
And it gives us reason to be optimistic about the future, even as we face difficult challenges.
It's a message we could all use a little more of these days.
For sure.
So to all our listeners out there, whether you're a UPSC aspirant or just someone who loves learning new things, we hope this deep dive into the Deccan Traps has sparked your curiosity and giving you some new perspectives.
Absolutely. And remember,
Okay.
the Press Information Bureau, or PIB,
Right.
is a great resource for staying updated on current affairs and research, especially for those preparing for the UPSC exams.
Absolutely. Keep those minds sharp.
Yes.
Keep exploring. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating topics.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us.